And also, like, what's great about breaking, what I liked about it compared to other dances, is that you could express a part of yourself that wasn't always pretty. Is that you could put whatever like stuff whatever you had experienced in your life, you could just put it in the dance.
Salute to the subscribers, those that live beyond the Cypher. I'm your host, Illskillz. This is Beyond the Cypher, the podcast that shows the humanity in the superhuman. If you're new to the channel, please consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons. They cost you nothing. Today, for episode 33, Linked In, we have a member of Montreal's premier female crew, legendary Bgirl crew. Not only has she put on for her crew and her city around the world, but also she's a choreographer, organizer, and hustler, meaning the actual dance known as the hustle. Represent Montreal, my favorite city, we have Bgirl Lynx. What up, Lynx? How you doing?
What up? How you doing?
Doing good. First off, thanks for coming out and being a part of the podcast. Anytime that I can talk to people with your experience, your contributions, past, present, and continuing into the future, I'm always going to jump on those opportunities. Like we were talking before recording, I think that these conversations are important, not just the wins and losses, but who the people behind the wins and losses are, because the wins and losses will go away, but your legacy outside of the dance a lot of times is even more impactful. No doubt.
Yes.
So, I wanted to start with your name, Agent Lynx. Where does that come from? Why Agent Lynx?
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll go. It's kind of a convoluted, long story. I'll try to make it like precise. First, I was Bgirl Lynx. I was never like in the beginning Agent Lynx. So, and my actual Bgirl name remains Lynx. To me, Agent Lynx is like my artist name. So, because in my mind, these were kind of like two different things. As my life as an artist, which encompasses all of my life experience. So that involves all of my martial arts training, all of my dance training, my contemporary dance training, my work as a choreographer and organizer, and any other kind of like artistic ventures. Like I also have been known to do spoken word and to write, and so I think people who are artistic or can be artistic in many ways. And so to me, Agent Lynx was kind of like my artist name, and that could encompass all of the things that I would do as an artist. So not just in my Bgirl life, which I guess is interesting because it shows you right away that to me there's a split. Like there's my Bgirl name and my Bgirl life, and then there's kind of like the rest of my life and like all of the activities that might encompass, which may not particularly be part of my Bgirl life. So there's kind of like maybe in my mind a separation between those things, or in my life there may also be separation or a necessary separation. Who knows? But Lynx itself, the name Lynx, you're always supposed to have your mentor give you a name, right? Like I think that's kind of the tradition, is that your mentor, your teacher gives you that. But I've never received a name from my teachers, and even when I started breaking, I didn't have teachers, so that's kind of part of the story, is I didn't have a direct teacher right away. Like we struggled to find people to teach us. And so I decided, which is interesting because it's kind of a DIY mentality, which I've had throughout my whole career, which continues to this day, which is like, okay, well, if no one's going to give me a name, I'll give myself a name. So I went through a few other names before getting to Lynx. And that was the one that really stuck. And I chose Lynx because, I love, like, it's going to sound funny, but I love animals and I love cats.
Right now I'm hiking in a forest in Alberta where the elusive Canada lynx can be found. These wild felines are widespread across Canada because ideal boreal forest habitat can be found from Newfoundland and Labrador in the east to the Yukon in the west. In Canada, we have 3 wild cat species: the lynx, the bobcat, and the much larger cougar.
But the lynx is a wild animal. The lynx is an animal that you can find in the remote regions of Canada, and it's very rare actually to see a lynx. Lynxes are also considered a very spiritual animal. I grew up on a indigenous reservation for the first 9 years of my life, and I'm not indigenous, but I spoke the language, and my family was very like integrated into the community because my dad was a teacher there, and he did a lot of work with the youth in the community, and so he was really respected by the youth and the elders in the community, and so we had a really I had a very interesting and amazing childhood until I was 9 years old, and so for me, choosing the name Lynx, it also for me was a connection to that part of my life and to indigenous cultures and their respect for animals, their deep traditions of respecting the spirits of the animals. And so
Wow.
in that way, I also thought a lynx, it's this kind of cat that looks cute. So you might think, oh, the lynx is cute. It looks like a house cat, but that cat
Then it
is a
scratches your
wild
face
animal.
off.
And if you try to pet it, it's gonna scratch you.
Yeah,
and so
no.
I kind of felt like, that's a bit like me. Like I can be cute and nice and friendly, but like if you try to rub me the wrong way, you might get the claws, the lynx claws,
Right.
because they do come out every now and then, and especially when I'm battling, people who've only seen me in a battle context, they really have a skewed idea of who I am, I think, so it's like kind of people who only know you from seeing you at jams or seeing you battle, they just really might not have any clue about your real personality, which might be different than your B-girl or B-boy character, because I believe that our B-boy, B-girl characters are actually a place where we get to live another aspect of our life, of a, the original B-boys and B-girls were inspired by superheroes and cartoons and comic books. And that was what inspired their characters. And so you get to live in this character, which may not be the person who goes home and does the dishes at night, or the chores and, the administrative work or whatever, emails, that this character has another life. And so for me, that was also kind of the story behind the Agent Lynx name, is that the Agent Lynx was a superhero. And Agent Lynx is kind of like, I got the agent from the X-Files, like Agent Scully.
You set us up. You're in on this with Lucas Henry. This was a trap for Mulder because he helped put you away. Well, I came here to tell you that if he dies because of what you've done, 4 days from now, nobody will stop me from being the one that'll throw the switch and gas you out of this life for good, you son of a bitch!
And Agent Mulder, and that I really liked how Agent Scully was like a real equal to Mulder in my perspective. Maybe if I went back and watched it now, I might see some things that were weird, but I really thought, oh man, Scully, she's cool. And when I was a kid, I used to read a lot of Nancy Drew mysteries, and so I really liked this idea of a female heroine who was an equal. She was like an equivalent to the man, and even sometimes Scully, she seemed more clever than Mulder. She was a little bit more with it. And so so for me, Agent Lynx was actually an actual character that I kind of thought about, and I was like, what is Agent Lynx? Where she wears trench coats, and she could be in the invisible, or she could be in the corner and you wouldn't notice her, and then she just show up, and so I felt like that's also kind of relative to the way I feel about my B-girl character. I kind of I like attention, but I don't like too much attention, and then I don't sometimes it's hard to be in the spotlight all the time. So I kind of like to be in the corner and then just show up and do my thing when it's the time to arrive. I like to go second, not first, there's this kind of that to me is all part of Agent Lynx. Agent Lynx could wear a bunch of different disguises, or she could dress up and look different. You wouldn't know who she looks like. At different times in my life, I've had different hairstyles, and people literally I walk right by them and they don't recognize me. So I kind of like that idea, is that this is just the outside, your internal life, your spirit life, your soul life is different than what you wear and how you dress and what you know what I mean? So I like that idea of shifting, and then Lynx, there's the idea of the links in the chain, which is a different spelling. But Lynx is I've always been a kind of person who connects people. I'm the bridge between many people and many things. And I have many different hats that I wear and responsibilities and roles in my work and in my life. And I have to go from maybe sometimes in one day I go to 3 different jobs or 3 different locations and play 3 different, very different roles. And that's kind of just how I've had to live to be able to survive as an artist and to be able to continue my Bgirl life. So yeah, that's the story behind Lynx and Agent Lynx.
Now, I draw some parallels from your story, also being a person who essentially had to teach themselves and name themselves. But I must give you props. You did a hell of a lot better job picking your name, because my first name was B-Boy Uprock. And that's because I thought Top Rock was called Uprock. So really I was thinking Top Rock, but I named myself Uprock, which I wasn't even doing and didn't even know how to do. And I don't know. But long story short, that's awesome.
So I've been teaching. I started teaching in 2003, which was really kind of like, if you think that I started breaking in 98, it's kind of early on. I started teaching quite early on. And I started teaching not because I thought I was really great at breaking. I actually started teaching because I wanted people to have people who were coming to me and asking me, or who approached me, to have access.
For more quality content from Beyond the Cypher with Illskillz, don't forget to press the like and subscribe buttons. Also, feel free to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Beyond the Cypher. Let us know how we're doing down in the comment section. And to make sure you don't miss anything from the channel, smash that notification bell. We appreciate the love and support. Peace. Until the next episode.